Scaling your online coaching or consulting business is hard until you understand what it is that I'm about to tell you in this video. See, the truth of the matter is this. For the past 3 years, I've been running my own direct marketing and consulting firm. And I've seen time and time again, after being behind the scenes of many operations, when coaches and consultants hit this sort of invisible ceiling where it doesn't matter how hard they work, what content they're putting out, the conversion rates seem to be staying low, doesn't seem to be generating any more sales. There is a reason for this, a very explicit reason for this. And so I'm going to tell you what that is and give you exactly how to fix that in today's video. Let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. So, scaling is hard until you understand your market, plain and simple. And there's a reason for this. If you don't understand what compels your market to get up and send you a sum of money, then it's not going to be very easy to replicate that positive outcome. It becomes kind of like a game of chance, just gambling, because you don't know actually how to get people to buy on repeat. The question then becomes, well, we want to replicate that desired outcome. How do we understand our market? How do we go about doing that? Well, there's one way to do it, and it's the word nobody likes: research. I don't know why I put this image in here. I cannot take this seriously. Now, why does nobody like research? Well, it's because they have these preconceptions about it. First off, people think research is time consuming. They think it's expensive to conduct. They think that it's really confusing. They don't understand how to do it. And also they think it's ineffective. But I'm here to tell you that all of these preconceptions are false and not true. Research does not have to be time consuming. Literally $0 is required for the methodology I'm about to show you. It doesn't have to be consuming at all, and it's very, very, very effective. First of all, you're going to want to look at the product and market awareness. This is very important. Essentially, to define product awareness, first of all, you already know what this is. It's just how aware is your market of your offer or solution to their problem. Dead simple. It comes in 5 stages. So we start from the least aware at stage 1, which is basically where people have a problem, they don't realize it, and they don't know there's a fix to it. There's the second stage where they know they've got the problem now, but they don't know that there's a fix to it. There's the stages 3 and 4. So 3 where they know there's a problem, they know there's a fix, but they don't know that your fix is going to work for them. And 4 where they know they have a problem, they know that your fix could offer them that relief from the pain, but they're not convinced that yours is the absolute best. Now, 3 and 4 is the most common stage that anything is ever going to be in, and it will go back and forth between these over and over again for a very long time. And then eventually we get to stage 5, which is the most aware state, where essentially it's just people waiting for the perfect excuse or opportunity to buy your thing. So you can easily just capitalize on this by, doing some FOMO or a flash sale, that kind of thing, or a price increase, anything that's going to really create urgency. Market sophistication is a different one because this doesn't really get talked about a lot. So let's break this term down. How many times has your market heard of similar offers and claims? So market sophistication also comes in 5 stages, but it's kind of backwards. We start from the least sophisticated. This is basically if you're the first mover in a market, like you're the first there, your fix is the first solution ever. There's the second stage where you are the second in the market, like somebody's already beat you to it. So that means in that situation, your claim is going to have to outdo the first entrance, like it's going to be a bolder claim. Stage 3 is basically going to be where they've already heard every claim like possible, so they may have already bought into 1 or 2 solutions. This is when you're going to have to bring in something called a unique mechanism, which is basically like an extra way to use the solution that you're selling that kind of makes it seem new, novel. Stage 4 is when they're going to have already heard the unique mechanism, so now you're going to have to really enlarge it. You're going to have to make that mechanism more extreme. And stage 5 is death, the end and the death. You're cooked. The market now no longer believes in your solution. This is when you're going to want to look at psychographics. So psychographics, quite simply defined, is just the study and classification of people according to their attitudes, aspirations, and other psychological criteria. So the things that you're going to be searching for when dealing with psychographics is going to be things like the values and beliefs. What does your market care about on a personal level? What are their motivations and goals in life? What kind of lifestyle do they lead? What interests do they have? What communities are they a part of? The attitudes and personality traits, so how do they view themselves? What's their self-concept and image look like? And also, of course, the pain points. What kind of struggles are they facing on that day-to-day basis? What kind of struggles can your solution fix for them? Now, specifically in the context of pain points, you're going to want to find something called the broken arm of your market. Now, I can't attribute this term to anybody because I actually don't know where I came across this. It was a long time ago when I was in the trenches of direct response. But the broken arm basically just means this. It's essentially, you're going to want to target the biggest pain point, the biggest one. Think about it like this. In a market, people are going to have a lot of different problems that your offer can solve. Some of them are going to be really small problems. Hence the broken arm analogy. It's like somebody might have a load of problems, but you're going to want to fix the broken arm before you even think about giving them anything else. If you target smaller problems in general, that will just cause your customer's acquisition cost to be unsustainably high. So after understanding psychographics, now we're going to want to have a look at competitors. So you're going to be wanting to look at what other solutions are the market exposed to on a daily basis, in addition to yours. So what is the competition strategy? What has worked for the competitors as well? So you can look at how, they've spent money and time and succeeded, and equally, what mistakes have they made, okay? You can save yourself tons of time and money if you just look at how people who are competing with you have messed up already. Like, they've literally paid the time and the money, messed up, so you can learn from that mistake. Now, if you find yourself in a position where what you're offering isn't really the same as anyone else, like you've kind of found yourself in a niche of a blue ocean market, then you're going to want to be dealing with this indirect competition instead. Because when you look a bit deeper, okay, indirect competition is where if there's nobody offering the exact same thing as you, then you're going to want to look at people who are at least similar or competing for the same people's time and money. So they're going to be solving your market's problems, but in a different way. So if we think about the BizOp niche, like easily you could sell to some like young guy wanting to make a name for himself in the entrepreneurial scene. You could sell him like a course on SMMA, but you could equally sell him a course on e-commerce and dropshipping, okay? So that's solving the same problems, which is I'm broke, I want to make money, I want to have a lavish lifestyle, but you're doing it in a different way, okay? So essentially, anybody in the SMMA niche is going to be, competing with people in the e-commerce and dropshipping info niche as well. This is something, for instance, that I have to look at all the time because there's nobody offering the same kind of thing that I'm offering, but there are people out there that are going after you guys, the coaches and consultants, and trying to solve your problems in a different way. Speaking of, if you're watching this video, chances are you feel that you're at a revenue ceiling yourself. So if you would like to work one-on-one with me, where I will help you elevate your brand to premium level positioning and install a bespoke, made-to-measure, streamlined sales process, finally capture the demand that there is for your product or service, then link is in the description and you can have a chat with me. So these are literally like things you can do to find what I have already told you need to be out there looking for, okay? I'm not going to just tell you what to look for and then, leave you in the dark. That's just evil. The first thing that you can do is just onboarding forms. So basically, when you get a client onboarded into your program, link them to an onboarding form where basically you can ask them a series of questions. So the most important questions, like identify where they came from, what piece of content was it, what was it that compelled them to buy. Because the thing is, this person's already bought from you and they bought from you right now, so you can see how powerful that data is. And also it's really easy as well, because as an onboarding form, it's going to be something that they're going to have little resistance to doing it because they've just bought in, they're just kind of hyped up, they're ready to get involved. It's easy data to get, and it's also some of the most effective LLMs. Now of course I hate AI. I don't use AI in any of my creative, any of my writing. It's all human because I hate AI. But in the context of research, large language models are actually super useful. Now, it doesn't mean that all of the information that it'll give you is correct. You have to do some cross-examination on your own behalf, but it's an amazing starting point. And it's because AI can produce detailed research papers in a matter of minutes. ChatGPT's deep research function, that's an amazing tool. It produces really good, thorough analysis in a very short space of time. Super useful. Of course, make sure you're cross-examining because you can get ganked if you're just relying on market research done by AI, but it's a fantastic starting point. For some more hands-on competitor research specifically, you can use the decoy or incognito YouTube strategy. So let me explain to you what this is. You can make a decoy YouTube channel where basically make a new account and you subscribe and view a load of content that's relevant to your niche. So basically you can hack the algorithm on that account to only recommend you content in your niche. So you can just open up that account, have a look through what people are doing, have a look at what's working, get the extension as well, vidIQ, which is fantastic. It's kind of like a spy tool that's free, you know. Or if you're lazy, you can go on incognito YouTube and just like where it's completely blank because it's got no data on you basically, so it can't recommend you stuff. Just put in some keywords in the search bar, scroll through, see what you can find. But of course that can have its limits. You can basically analyze what your competitors are doing without any algorithms getting in the way. Now this is super useful that I don't think many people can be bothered to do, but online threads are amazing. So essentially go to where your customers are hanging out on like Reddit, Facebook, wherever it is, and you can actually like just observe the conversations that they're having. And because think about it like this, okay, people openly discuss their problems on the internet, okay, so you don't even need to have to ask them, you don't have to find them, and you don't have to get through any sort of like hesitation or reluctance to finally ask them to open up about the problems. You can just search for them on forums and threads, okay? So literally go on specific like r slash whatever the problem is, or whatever the space is, or like Google as well, like problems and pain points, and you can find people talking about them and sharing their experience. This is like research gold, okay? This is so slept on, and I've not really seen this recommended anywhere outside of like dialed in, locked in direct response circles. So 100% make use of this. The Socratic method. So if you don't know what the Socratic method is, you know like the joke about Socrates where you just say like why over and over again? That is a really simplified version of the Socratic method, and you can use this in your market research. So essentially you can uncover your market's deepest, darkest secrets via just probing questions. So think about pain points, okay? So it's like a thought experiment. Think about certain issues and just sort of ask why over and over again and try and pinpoint the origin. So this is a really, really effective method that I don't see many people use at all. This is pretty esoteric, and I think I read this somewhere in a very, very hard to find book. It was called Method Marketing by, I think his name was Denny Hatch, if I'm not mistaken. This book was recommended by Bob Bly, a very famous copywriter. But in it, it discusses this sort of strange tactic. So you know method acting, a great example of this is Viggo Mortensen in the Lord of the Rings movies. When he was like playing the role of Aragorn, he used to, you know, train really intensively in sword fighting, like ride horses everywhere he went, like sleep in nature in the wilderness and go camping and stuff, carry his sword like around town and stuff as if the orcs are going to jump him at any minute, you know. So that was like really committed method acting. Actors do this because it helps them perfectly align themselves with the person that they're playing, okay? In the same way, you can do that for your customers, okay? I'm not saying you have to go like this far, like it's not, don't be like method acting completely, that's a bit weird. Like maybe if you're writing to a bunch of women and you're a man and you get like a sex change or something, you don't have to go that far. If you're really committed, you could. Method marketing just involves sitting and really like aligning yourself with the perspective of the person that you're trying to sell to. So this requires a lot of empathy and it requires a lot of imagination, but it is the closest that you can get to your prospects, like completely, okay? There's no like other way that you can get in the minds of your prospects that's more effective than method marketing, okay? This sounds ridiculous, and that's why I'm saying it's really esoteric, but it works, okay? Your brain's powerful. It's capable of doing this stuff. Many of you guys will probably not try this, but hell, it's definitely worth it. So I appreciate you making it all the way to the end. I hope you found this really, really informative and useful. And if you would like any help with implementing these research methods for yourself or having us do them for you, we've had years training ourselves with the systems, doing this stuff, head on down to the link in the description and schedule in a time with me and we can have a talk and see how we can do that for your business. And then you'll be able to develop that deeper than ever understanding of what it is that drives your market to buy, so you can replicate that desired outcome as many times as you want and finally break past that ceiling and scale, okay? Scaling is then no longer guesswork, no longer difficult. Thanks again so much for staying until the end, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.